2023, 365 days a year. Of course, giving out free picks on all the games. And, of course, our best bets are our premium picks. I'm joined by Chris and our newest member here at our Pick Dogs, Jay One Ring Briggs. He's got his ring, one ring. Of course, not the sport that he really wants it in, but he'll take it. But that's okay. Jay,
Man.
Congratulations. It was a long, hard season. You had your series ups and downs, but at the end, got it done. And that's all that really matters. Now, you get to celebrate for a day or two until start thinking about next year. That's the thing is, like, you get it, and then you celebrate, and then, well, now here comes all the contract disputes and all the guys that want more money, and they start shipping them out of town, and Garcia wants more money, and Eovaldi wants more money, and everybody wants more money. That's it. It's today's sports, man. That's what it is. Ask Ruffolo. He invented that. 25,000 people watched the jam session on top of it when I questioned the brown coloring on the thumbnail. Made no difference. Who knows? Maybe if it was red, maybe we would have got 30. But,
maybe.
I don't know. We'll find out. We'll continue to go through the color wheel with Jay Briggs. Well, the Bucks got their ass kicked last night, but, man, the Pacers. Oh, boy. Not my best bet I ever made, that's for sure. They lost by 50-something points. Now, the thing is, when you lose by 50, and I got to say, I did not have a good day. I've not had a good last couple days. I had a really hot streak going, and now that NBA has started, I've been cold. I've started the season. I was okay the first couple of days, but I've been ice cold the last couple of days. It's kind of starting to get to that point where it's like, trying to figure it out a little bit. And I'm not figuring, right? So I got to kind of take a little bit of a step back here, be a little less aggressive. But, I admit it. When I haven't had my best run, I haven't had my best run. And it's like I had a really good run going, and I've had a really nice run in college football going. I had a miserable start. I'm like down 0.1 units for the season or something. I mean, I'm going to go positive, at some point. And, after a really bad start. And I'm just a slow starter in NBA. And I thought I could be different, but I'm not. It's, once again, a slow starter, man. Games like where the Detroit Pistons just lay their asses down, man, against the Blazers. I don't care what anybody says. So, Scoot Henderson, man, 11 points again. It's like, I lost the game, but I don't care. I'm still going to fire away at this guy. He's a rookie. Maybe he's going to just take a little bit more time, but a lot of time these rookies, they just jump right in and contribute. And this guy not really doing that. And I don't know, man. What's the deal, Jay? What do you think? Because we never saw him play in college, man. It's another one of those things, where we never saw him play.
Yeah, we did lose that one yesterday. That was unfortunate. That was my play of the day. It looked good. They were hooping first half. The Pistons. Yeah,
no, the Blazers did what good teams do. They won this third and fourth quarter. It's like that's what the Warriors do. It's like, but at the same time,
Scoot, to me, he still has a lot of growing to do. I'm not going to throw him away quite yet, but he's not as advertised. He hasn't looked like the number 2 overall pick thus far to me.
How have the rest of the OTE guys been doing? Like the Thompson twins, I haven't even kept track of them.
They've been solid.
Have they?
Everyone's been good except Scoot. And the forgotten man, because he's white, Chet, getting better every game, man. Even though they lost. Played well. He's moving into the Jay Briggs white guy all-star team. I'd have a spot for him. I know Jay likes Chet. He's on the Thunder Buddies. Thing is that they have a lot of good players. He doesn't really have to do that much. Well, he had to do a little more than he did yesterday, but that's besides the point. Another team that let me down yesterday, Thunder Buddies, couldn't get it done. mean, if it wasn't for the Toronto Raptors, I mean, it would have been a real disaster of a day. Thank God Ruffolo loves the Bucks.
Yeah, that was a shit stained game from the Bucks, but they'll be fine down the road.
Nope, not on the road. They won't be. There's trash on the road.
World Series. You know, my other team, number one team in the West, currently undefeated. Oh my goodness, the Dallas Mavericks. Hats off to them boys.
So you think they're going to go undefeated?
No, but they're currently undefeated. So I mean, it's worth a little some. I'm excited for this play-in tournament or the coming up.
Yeah, I wasn't excited about it, but now I am because I'm thinking I might go. So it's like it involves a Vegas trip, and it all gets a little better.
We got the first group play games start on Friday.
So how does the tournament work? How exactly does it work?
Okay, so it's group play first, and those games are regular season games, but they count for the in-season tournament, and they're just at like the regular venue.
Yeah, it's just home versus away.
Correct. The first games go off Friday, and then the second games go off. It's kind of weird how they do it, and the second games go off the following Friday. So it's like Fridays are like in-season tournament days.
And then when is the in-season tournament? Like when is it in December or no? Is that too early?
The actual tournament is it is December 4th. The 4th through the 9th of December.
Anyways, so Jim Harbaugh. You know, what do you guys think? I mean, I've seen this historically, where things like this have happened. Not necessarily exactly this, but were violations that are major violations. This is not like, and this is no longer like a small violation anymore. This is a major violation. Chris?
What happened?
Chris? What do you think here? There's sign stealing, signal stealing, all this. I mean, this is in the rule books. I mean, this is written in the NCAA bylaws, rules. These are not like, it's just customary or any of that stuff. This is straight violations. This is cheating. This is a cheating scandal, is what this is. I say 2-year bowl ban, half their scholarships, and anything else that they can throw at them. 2 years probation, 2 years bowl ban, scholarship limitations down to 10 per year for 5 years.
So, I mean, I haven't followed it all that clearly, but weren't they just stealing signs at games?
Yeah, that's illegal.
No, that's not illegal.
Yes, it is. It's in the rules. It's in the rules, Jay, that you can't do it.
Nah.
It's in the NCAA rules that you can't do it.
What Brady and them was doing at practices, that's disgusting. But if we sending people to your games and you continue to do the same signage week by week, that's your fault, not our fault.
It's in the
That's
rule book that you can't do it.
That's my stance on it.
You're not. A good thing for the rest of us. You don't make the rules or force them because it's cheating.
I don't know.
It's according to the way that things lay out, it's
Everything
cheating.
that happens within the 60 minutes of game time should be able to be used as means to see what the hell you got going on.
Do you have access to game film and all those other sort of things? Stealing signals is not part of the game. I'm sorry, it's not.
I'm just saying, like in high school, if we went to say we played on Thursday, the other team played on Friday, we went to their games, we sitting there watching what the hell is going on. Like you can't get mad at that. You can't get mad because people are at your games. You can't get mad at that. This is a public sport. It's not like, you know what I mean? So, shit.
But the thing is that it goes a lot deeper than that, Jay. It goes much deeper than that.
It may, and
it does. It does go deeper. Believe me, they don't just. A school like Michigan is kind of like the darling of the NCAA. You know, believe me, if this was Miami or anybody else, if it was Miami or like Texas A&M or like one of the schools like that, they would go right after the jugular, man. They would not even think twice about it. When it's Michigan, USC, Notre Dame, Penn State, it's all like, above, it's all, it's handle this with kick gloves. Trust me on this one. There's no outs. They got no outs on this one. They got none. No outs, man. Because this is like the coaches in the Big Ten are going crazy, man. They're going crazy on his ass.
Yeah. The reality of it is that any team that we've seen get caught cheating in sports, for the most part, has had the book thrown at them.
Yeah.
Saw it with the Astros. And we've seen it, in the past, and I think we're going to see it here with Michigan. I can see both sides of the argument where it's like, okay, well, if I caught something on film, can I use that to my advantage? I think that's one thing. I think that's just studying film and noticing a tendency. This is just, like Mitch said, stealing signs from.
It's interesting because. So, like, when it's other schools, like when it was SMU, like paying players before, like, you could legally pay them, it was throw the book at them, man, death penalty. When Miami paid players using Pell Grant money, it was nearly death penalty. It was as close you can get to death penalty as without it being death penalty. This is in that range. This is in that area. This guy has to go, number one. He has to go. Number two, it's going to be massive probation for Michigan. Massive, unprecedented, man. This is going to be, it has to be, man. And it's like, it's because it's one of the NCAA darling schools, man. It makes it very, very tough spot for them. Because this is it's a Big Ten powerhouse. It's the whole, thing. It's like, no.
No. For the last time, no.
It's not okay. Why would they have it in the rule book if it was?
I gotta go do some more studying up on what on the whole situation.
We appreciate it more when you make judgments without actually knowing the full story.
It makes for good content.
That's what I do. Don't worry. The world got even with me this morning. I had a beep going on in my house. Couldn't figure out where the hell it was coming from. It's like, what the hell is that? You ever have that? Like something's beeping in the house. It's like it's not the smoke detector because that's normally the culprit. It's like, what the hell is that?
Yeah,
we had an internet outage. Like, I have two internets in my house, two Wi-Fis. One of the companies had an outage. Not surprised. I won't mention any names, Comcast, but Xfinity. But The thing is that they, I have
Matt,
other
we're
things
just
that are
disappointed.
connected to it. So like there is beeping. Like, why can't it just be like everything else I got just defaults to the other one?
We're not mad. We're just disappointed.
I get to go to my first parade tomorrow. I can't wait.
Just don't get arrested.
If I call you to bail me out, man, just don't question it. Just send the funds, and I'll be back.
Yeah. I don't know if I'm gonna have. I don't know if I have that much money.
Mitch, if you get that call tomorrow, just know,
You see how the target changed? It's like I don't know if I have the money. Okay, next.
Mitch.
I don't have the money. For what? I missed it. I'm reading my emails.
I said, I can't wait to go to my first parade tomorrow.
Oh.
Chris said,
Yeah, those parades, they keep the players further and further away every year, man. Like the last one I went to was for the Blackhawks in Chicago.
What year?
The first one that they won. No, the second one that they won. So I don't know whatever year that was. 2012?
No, I don't know.
The year they beat the Bruins. As big underdogs. It's funny because my friend Fitz came in from Boston. It just, he happened to have a business trip scheduled for that next day after they clinched the cup. And he said, do they just issue Kane jerseys at the end when you're born in Chicago? It's like, we enter the city. It's like, everybody's got one. Anyways, a lot going on, man. A lot going on. Bobby Knight, rest in peace.
R.I.P. man, Bob Knight, man.
General.
Many a days hooping at Bob Knight Center, man, here in Dallas, man. Plenty of days in there, man. Shout out him.
The General. Oh, man. Last undefeated team, right? Was Bobby Knight's Indiana team. It's got, what, 2 rings? So twice as many as Jay. Pretty sure. Did Isaiah, right, with Isaiah and Steve Alford, they each won a ring? Or do they play together? I got tons. I got a lot of rings, but we haven't got one in a while. I got tons.
Fair enough.
Tons. 2 Marlins.
Chris, when your last ring was Kawhi.
Yeah.
2 Marlins, 2 Dolphins, 5 Hurricanes.
Yeah, that's what Toronto teams do. They win 1 ring every 26 years. Regardless of the sport. Leafs was 67. Blue Jays was 93. Raptors was 2019, so I got to wait till 2045 for the next one.
The Heat have a bunch too. So, yep. I mean, the thing about it is, like, so for Jay, so now he gets to actually, this is the thing. Now, here's the thing, right? Here's the thing about the Rangers, and we can ask Jay now because he does bandwagon a little, right? He does. Right? He gets even a little crazy. It's like, I like to win a game too. It doesn't mean I have to become a fan of the team. Now, the thing is that so Jay tells the story, right? I'm not the only one that tells stories, right? So I listen to everybody's stories too. Chris doesn't have any good stories, but Jay has some. And one of the stories that he talks about is that the last time the Rangers were there and they had it almost won, and he's waiting in line to get his World Series shirt like he's wearing right now, and they end up losing, and they haven't been back since. So it's all those years of suffering that make the winning so sweet. And that's why I always stick with my teams. These are my teams. I have other teams that I root for and like and all that stuff, but these are my teams. These are my teams. And it's like, and everyone knows if I had a choice of just one, it's the Hurricanes football, right? But it's like, these are my teams, and I live and die with these teams because I know I've had that win, So it's like, I know what it's like. And then it's like other people who kind of bandwagoned on, and you're happy that they won and all that other stuff. It's not quite the same because you didn't have that pain and suffering that goes along with it, So it's like, now I think he probably understands what it means, maybe a little bit more than when we talk about it. Because it's like, it's those years of pain and suffering that make that win, even as long as it lasts. I mean, it'll last the rest of your lifetime, but really the feel of the big win only lasts a little, for a little while. But it makes it all, that's what makes it great, And it's like, I've had that win a few times. Like my Hurricanes, when I was a kid, were 2-9 every single season. They were terrible. We go into the Orange Bowl, to the national championship game. All of a sudden, we're in the championship game. We're ranked 4th in the nation going into the Orange Bowl. Is the old New Year's Day format, so everybody played on the same day. Everybody that was ahead of us lost. So we had a crack at it for the national championship. 18.5-point dogs, we beat Nebraska outright with a freshman quarterback. And that was our first title as for the Canes. And it's like all those years of suffering. I grew up in the stands of the Orange Bowl watching us lose by hundreds to these teams.
Yep. It was cool, man. Me and my dad, we redid it last night. We redid it.
Yep. I saw it on Twitter. The tape.
Yeah.
And I didn't see any Suck It David Freeze shirts out there, but I'm sure there was a few. Mm-hmm.
So, hey, feels good. I got it out of my system now, at least for the show.
But it's like, to me, it's like that's why I don't like the bandwagon thing, because you can't really understand it unless you had those years and years of suffering. I understood it in Chicago and Wrigley when the Cubs won, like the real Cub fans who had suffered. And maybe if Chris is lucky in his lifetime, maybe like they'll win a playoff series and he'll have something to really celebrate, for the Maple Leafs.
They won a series last year.
One.
That's more. It's
the
more.
Best part of the best part of the one against the Panthers was they were still favored in every single game and got just wrecked. I mean, they got wrecked in that series. They got crushed.
They didn't get wrecked. They got wrecked in like 2 games.
What was the final of the series? 4-1, right? Yeah, they got wrecked.
There were a couple 1 games.
4-1 is destruction, man, in a series. I mean, the Rangers, look at what they did in this postseason. Not quite what my White Sox did in their series, in their playoff run, but a better World Series than the White Sox had. But the White Sox had better games, like more, exciting games in it. But the Rangers, look at the playoff run that they had. Swept the wild card, right? Then the next round they crushed who did they play the next round? Baltimore. Best record in the American League. Crushed them. Just crushed them. Hopeless. No hope. Hope had left the building by the clincher in that series. And now, Los Serpientes.
Don't forget the Astros, the defending champ.
The Astros. They stomped them.
Man.
I remember when the White Sox went and, that's that playoff series against the Red Sox to get there. It was like they put in El Duque, who was at the end of his career at that point. He comes in, strikes out Big Papi on 3 pitches. It was like, we're going to win the whole thing. It was like, bases loaded, Big Papi's up. They bring him in, strikes him out on 3 pitches. Like nasty, nasty stuff. It was like, all of them would have been called strikes.
Shout out MLB on Fox, man. I had a lot of fun watching Rodriguez, Papi, and Jeter up there.
A-Rod's good at it, man. He's good at it. A-Rod's good at it. Now,
they were really.
He grew up as a fan of the game and all that other stuff. He loves the game. He doesn't come from, the big money and the academies and all that stuff. He grew up shagging balls at University of Miami in the outfield during their practice. That's how he started playing. He used to go to the Miami Hurricanes batting practice and shag balls in the outfield. He also got us on probation when he built us a new baseball stadium, but that's besides the point.
I had just as much fun watching those guys as I do watching TNT. Shaq.
No way.
I did.
No chance.
I did.
I don't like Jeter that much anymore. I used to like him more when he was young and
It's hilarious. You throw a cookie to the Cookie Monster?
I don't know. It's never a real big. I like Big Papi. I think he's a great player and all that stuff, but I don't find him as entertaining as some of the other guys.
Fair enough.
I'll tell you, he's a good announcer. Is Carlos Correa or not? Is Carlos Correa when they have him in there? He's really good. They don't have him too often, but he's real good. All right, we still got games today to talk about.
Let's do
Got
it.
NFL, we got college football, we got NBA, and I think there's a hockey game or two. Chris, is there any hockey?
A game or two or 12.
12?
Yeah,
Did you do a little reach around before
I did the reach around last.
went for the reach around?
got full grip on the stick.
My Coyotes let me down last night, man. It was sad.
How about the cockfight in South Carolina this weekend?
I was just about to.
All the cocks.
If Sauce doesn't have that game on the card this week, I'm going to be extremely disappointed.
It's one of those weird cards where like most of the really good teams don't play good teams, so it's going to be a tough selection for him. I think we should maybe help him out a little bit.
Yeah, this is actually a decent slate. I'm going through it right now.
I don't think so. I don't see it that way, Chris.
You don't? Okay. To each their own.
Four NBA, one NFL, two college football, and if we have time, we'll talk NHL. If time permits. Yesterday, Jay and I did 2 shows. It was combined 4 hours. Two shows, 4 hours. It happened. All right. First up. Yes, there are game picks on the shows if it's your first time watching. I don't say anything. Wilson, what should we say today? See the sound a zebra makes when it's pain from implant surgery. What does that even mean? I don't even understand what that means.
I don't know either.
Okay. Titans against Steelers. Will Levis show rolls into Pittsburgh. Chris, you just love saying names of first-time starter quarterbacks, second-time starter quarterbacks. We know, especially in this type of spot.
Yeah.
What do you think of this beauty?
Yeah, I'm still leaning towards the Titans here. Will Levis had a great start last week. It's going to be different here, taking on a Steelers team. It's going to generate pressure in this game. The Falcons not a team, it's necessarily known for getting in the backfield and getting a ton of sacks, and that's what the Steelers' bread and butter has been. But this Steelers offense hasn't been good with Matt Canada's offensive coordinator. They, just stall out on a lot of drives, and we could be seeing a healthy dose of Mitch Trubisky tonight. So, getting points with the Titans, I think, is a decent spot to be in. I think I was still seeing it at 2.5. I could be wrong. Let me just.
I saw some threes out there this morning.
Yeah, threes. Yeah, so 2.5, 3, whatever you can get with the Titans. I would take the Tennessee Titans here.
I'm on the other side. This one is I'm getting the better team at home in prime time, better coach, better defense against a rookie quarterback in his second start ever going up against this Pittsburgh defense, Mike Tomlin. Come on now, stop it. I'm taking the Steelers here in this one. Will Levis, hell of a game last week. Hats off to him. Do it again. Do it again against Pittsburgh on Thursday night in Pittsburgh. It ain't happening. It ain't happening. I'm taking the Steelers and laying the points.
Yeah, I have to say I gotta agree here. You know, too. It's like I don't know. I think at least money line Steelers, if nothing else, and probably the under too. I think that we're going to see Levis get. They're going to put all kinds of pressure on him. Now they got some film on Pittsburgh, where the instant replay was invented too. On top of it, the bad scene. I think the Steelers are going to be. I think this game's going to be a lot of running of the football. On both sides. It's going to be a real physical game. It's going to be like sort of like a Ravens game, against the Steelers, similar to that. So I like the under also.
Defensive touchdown in this game too. I can see it. We got Trubisky and Will Levis. They're bound. I would take both of them for INT, and I would also sprinkle a bit on the defensive touchdown.
Sorry, it's been a while. I missed it.
It has been. It's crazy to say, but I actually think the Titans have the better defense. Statistically, they do. Are you okay? Okay, so who's better against the pass, Pittsburgh or Tennessee?
Man, stop it! I'm not even finna argue.
Shut up. Just sit down. And shut up.
I'm not even finna argue.
Pittsburgh, Tennessee 20th against the pass.
Chris, who you
24th.
plays matters. Who you plays matters. Who you plays matters. So
when you're losing,
both have played the Baltimore Ravens. Both have played.
Where the Titans have done really well is at home. The game against the Bengals was at home. That was really their highlight of the season so far. Was the win against the Bengals. They slaughtered them. It was at home. You're gonna take Will Levis and put him on the road.
I'm just saying that we're not the argument that Pittsburgh has
no
better
argument.
defense. Is just not
an argument. We won already. The argument's over. We already won.
Okay,
I declare victory.
It's not as cut and dry as saying it's.
You're saying that I won? I control the volume controls over here, so I think that I have a pretty strong opinion.
Just about every team the Steelers have played offensively are clears. Just about every team the Titans have played offensively. Like, context matters. You can't. That's why I'm saying, like, sometimes the stats don't tell a full story. They just don't. Like, the Steelers have played the Niners, the Ravens, the Texans, the Rams. Like, these are offenses that score. Meanwhile, Tennessee's over here playing New Orleans,
the Chargers, the Bengals, the Ravens.
Go Chargers! What, the Chargers are a good team?
Teams. They have a solid offense.
Who's a better coach, Mike Vrabel or Brandon Staley?
Mike Vrabel.
Exactly. The Chargers aren't a good team. They're a joke, man.
I don't know.
Because they beat the Bears, all of a sudden we're going to elevate them to good?
I'm taking this defensive line any day of the week. TJ Watt and company. Like, come on now.
What about Minkah Fitzpatrick against a rookie QB in Pittsburgh?
He's not playing tonight, but
he could play, even if he wasn't playing.
Still. You telling me right now today, Chris, you had the opportunity to take the Titans defense or the Steelers defense. You're taking Tennessee?
If I'm looking at it side by side, numbers wise, sure. I'd say these two defenses are closer than you're making it seem, is what I'm saying.
Maybe, but take the stats and the eye test and put them both together. You telling me you're taking Tennessee over Pittsburgh?
I'm giving the slightest of edges to the Pittsburgh Steelers. I'm just saying you're making it sound like you got the Pittsburgh Steelers defense is the best in the league, while Tennessee is just dog crap, and it's not the case. These are two teams that are very.
Well, let's just say the last time we saw Tennessee on the road, We've seen Tennessee on the road 3 times this season. They've lost all 3 games. They covered against the Saints way back in the first game of the season, but since then, they got slaughtered by Deshaun Watson and the Cleveland Browns of all people, and then lost to the Colts by 7 as a 2.5-point favorite. I don't think so, Chris.
Mm-hmm. Okay, let's see.
And technically, that home game against the Ravens wasn't really home. That was London, so technically that was on the road as well. So
yeah, they lost their ass.
So, I mean,
all right, I'll say it. I'll say it for a straight trash, man.
They're not as bad as I'm portraying them to be. And the Steelers' defense may not be head and shoulders better than Tennessee's defense, but I still think they're better. Fair. I'll say that. I'm fading.
Romanelli said he'd take the Titans' defense.
No, he didn't. He
did. He also loved TCU against Kansas State, so that's, something that's like he's had a lot of winners, but I mean, he did pick TCU against Kansas State. I mean, I've been shellacked. I had the Pacers last night. It doesn't get any worse than that. They scored 150, man. 150. That's like Globetrotters numbers. It's like, you want to talk about having that margin to put the scrubs in. It's like, let's see, we're up by 40. It's like, all right, get out there. It's like,
the Pacers with Halliburton, green. Without him, pure fade. He's the engine, the motor, the transmission, the battery.
Romanelli did have the Broncos last week. I did not have them in that game against the Chiefs. Did have them there, so maybe he's onto something.
We'll see.
I like the Steelers at home. Replay was invented in Pittsburgh, man. It was invented in Pittsburgh. Don't even think twice about this. Replay was invented in Pittsburgh. I should do a video of famous Mitch losses, like my worst losses of all time. It's like that one last night would probably be on the list of like the biggest margin of victory on the loss. I lost by 55 points in an NBA game. I had him on the money line. I got crushed, man. I got crushed. I had him on the money line. The hell was I doing?
Would the that coach game be on there? Or those Colts?
That Colts.
That coach.
That freaking coach. No, I mean like most one-sided losses. I mean, I've lost like some really horrific, one-sided beatdowns. I've been on the business end of some real blowouts.
It only counts as one. That's the good thing.
But my worst loss of all time still remains Arizona at Oregon college hoops. That was my worst loss I ever had. It was the worst beat I ever had. It wasn't even a beat. It was a beat down. I got crushed. I got in-gamed 7 times on the same game. Lost them all. It was like, lost my pregame, lost 7 in-games and a halftime. And I've never bet Arizona at Oregon since. I even got Romanelli on Oregon now, on that Arizona game. It's my circle game of the year. I can tell you right now. Arizona at Oregon college hoops. I don't care who's ranked. I don't care what the records are. I got Oregon. I don't care what the point spread is. Taking Oregon. They haven't lost Arizona at home in like 100 years, and like never has the game even been close. All right, so it's unanimous. We all got Pittsburgh in this one.
Chris, you coming on halftime with us again tonight? Oh, I'm putting you on the spot. See?
Should be around.
All right, cool. The Will Levis show. It's the Trubisky show too, so we'll see. Like I said, both INTs.
Raptors 76ers. Raptors doing it for me last night, wiping the smirk off Ruffolo's face with those Bucks. I'll take the Bucks. I hate the Bucks. Love watching them lose.
Celtics. You hate them.
Trash. Fraudulent. Trash ass Bucks. So soft, man. So soft. But here they come now playing the Sixers, who don't have James Harden to kick around anymore. You know, when the Sixers unload a guy like this, they always all of a sudden play really, really well. It happened when they traded Ben Simmons. It's kind of like they lag with – the Sixers are never quick to pull off the trade. It always lags into the season. And then they get rid of the guy, and it's like they start playing really well. But James Harden, like, wasn't a problem on the court. He was just a problem, you know. It was just a management type thing. I just like it better that you know what you got, and you're gonna, you know what you're going into battle with. And I think the Sixers, I think they rough up the Raptors in this thing. They rough them up, beat them up, man. Chris, what do you think? Going back to your home team?
I'm going to the Sixers here. I think the Raptors fired their best shot last night, and now they go on the road to Philly, where they haven't been at their best this season. So, or sorry, in past seasons. They already lost their 114-107 this year. Philly got the cover in that one. I think they do it again here. Give me the Sixers at home in this one.
Sweep. Taking the Sixers too. It's a bad spot for the Raptors. Back to back. With travel, just smacked up the Bucks yesterday. They just got smacked up by the Sixers just a couple days ago in Toronto. I think they get smacked up by the Sixers again this time in Philadelphia. I'm gonna lay the wood.
I think Jay took the Bucks yesterday also.
Shh. You were laughing at Chris, not me. Shh.
We got World Series, bitches.
Yeah, you're here. You're in the foxhole with me on this one.
Anytime you take the Bucks or Celtics and lose, man. Well, two teams that I lost money on their games yesterday, which was most of them, but these were two of them that were involved. The Pistons and the Pelicans. I had the Pistons in that game against. Whoever the hell they played, the Blazers. I also had the Thunder Buddies against the Pelicans, who both of them blew halftime leads. And, the thing about the Thunder Buddies, they won the first quarter, and the Pelicans won every other quarter after that. It's like when they start breaking the game down, the coach, like when they're down by 1 million, let's break it, let's win the next 5 minutes. They won every 5 minutes after, man. You ever see like Pee Wee? Let's just win the next 5 minutes.
Yep.
See what gets us. How about if we get dunked on some more?
The Pistons did me so dirty yesterday, man.
That was ridiculous, man.
That was ridiculous because they was real life hooping first half. Like I had the game on because it was the first game on. It was 6 o'clock, so it was before the Rangers even came on. Had it on, boys was hooping. I was like, all right, let's go. And I turned the Rangers game on. I look at my phone. I said, what is going on? Them boys, them folded. They had, a 15-point lead or something at one point? It was nasty. But I'm going back to them, man. I don't want to lay points with the Pelicans is what this comes down to. They're still banged up. I doubt Ingram plays tonight. When he's banged up, he's banged up. And he kind of on the WWKD type line, When he's hurt, he gonna sit. He ain't got no problem sitting. I don't want to be laying down there double digits with the Pelicans on the back end of a back-to-back. This is an older team going up against a younger team. The Pelicans are the better team. That's not what I'm trying to – I'm not trying to sit here and tell you the Pistons are the better team. The Pelicans are the better team. But I think this game is going to be close to the vest. If the Pistons put it together for the full 60 minutes, this is going to be a tightly contested game. I'm going to grab the points back-to-back nights with Detroit.
I hate the Pistons after last night. I hate their guts. I'm going to take the Pistons again. Why not? I can't get beaten down any lower by them than what happened to me yesterday. It can't get any worse. It can only stay as bad.
It was already the low point, yeah.
Jess Jansen just taking shots at Scoot Henderson. Overrated. I don't even think he's rated. Jay, where you got Scoot rated these days? How about in the rookie? Like, there's all different ways to rate him. Rookie class rating.
Rookie class rating. What was he? Third overall pick. He might be like 6 or 7 on the rookies. There's some rookies that are hooping that I
Really, you
enjoy.
think that he's even that high on the list?
Maybe not. I'm just trying to think. I don't.
I mean, let's go. Wembanyama, Lively, Chet.
I mean, Chet's technically not a rookie, but I mean, I guess
No, he technically is a rookie because he never
Okay.
played. Okay.
fine. Okay, I believe you.
Well, I mean, if Ichiro could win Rookie of the Year, then so can Chet. It's like, I mean, Ichiro's like 41 years old, the Rookie of the Year. Thank you very much for this honor.
The Thompson twin and Detroit really been hooping. I haven't watched a ton of the one.
I think it's a little early to be calling him Adam Morrison. I do like the analogy, but I think it might be a little early. I like it though.
Adam Morrison, the
I'm
worst.
keeping an eye on this guy.
Adam Morrison is the worst player in NBA history with 3 rings.
I'm keeping an eye on this guy. Worst player in NBA history with 3 rings is Adam Morrison.
Yeah, I think so.
You don't think that like Luke Longley is up there and those guys? Anyone that played on those Jordan teams?
Okay, sorry. Let me rephrase that. He's the biggest disappointment with 3 rings. From what he was supposed to be coming out of college to what he ended up being. That's my stance on it.
All right.
I still remember him crying at half court in the Final Four.
I still think that even if Scoot remains as is, he still has a gig in a few years. While Adam Morrison didn't. Scoot still has a paying gig. He's just not going to be like, what everybody else gets.
I think Adam Morrison's calling Gonzaga games now.
Well, what else does he have to do? He's sitting on a pile of cash. Pre-salary cap.
This is true.
If you played pre-cap.
Set.
Who's free agents on the Rangers this year? Speaking of caps. There's no cap in baseball.
I think all the main guys are locked up. That's what's so beautiful.
I'll tell you. Martin Perez, Will Smith, Andrew Heaney, Jordan Montgomery, Jake Odorizzi, Austin Hedges, Brad Miller, Ian Kennedy, Mitch Garver, Aroldis Chapman, Leclerc. The club has an option, a $6.3 million option. Heaney has a player option at $13 million. Congratulations to his agent. Chris Stratton. Ooh, can't let him go. Robbie Grossman, who really was disappointing. Travis Janikowski and Sandy Leon. So they got a bunch. I think that Odorizzi will probably be the priority, and maybe Montgomery.
But like I said, all the main guys for the most part are locked up. So
Odorizzi only makes $7.8 million a year. You think he's going to want to get paid now for what he did this year in arrears?
What did he do this year? I don't know. We got some options, man, because we're gonna be healthy next year. We'll see.
I just think that 19.6 from Martin Perez is a little to the high side.
It is. It definitely is. What my guy DeGrom do back? Middle of the year next year? Oof.
Well, when did he get injured? Wasn't it like May or something?
Yeah, it was kind of early.
So probably June or July.
I think we're gonna be good for a little minute. Did you see the reporter ask Corey Seager why the Dodgers let him go? Like, come on, bro. time.
Yeah, they have a tendency of putting their foot in their mouth.
Anyways, who'd you take in this beauty, Chris?
I'm on the Pistons as well.
Oh, screw it, man. Damn it.
I'm with Jay. I just don't want to be laying any easy. I just don't want to be laying any points at the Pelicans here either.
Just stick to your Celtics and Bucks and Lakers, man. Just stay in your wheelhouse.
Like, I'm just over catching strays, dude. Like, I'm just like sitting here peacefully doing nothing.
You chalked out on us yesterday, man. It was like,
oh my god, I did
it's
not
like
shock out.
It's like if Chris can't jump on like a 12-point favorite or better, it's like I'm taking the over. Jazz against the Magic. Go ahead, Chris. Just tell us. We already know the answer. Because if you're gonna take a dog, it's gonna be a 1-point dog. That's the extent of it.
I take more than 1-point dog. Thank you very much. I cap out at 2.5. Anyways, I'm taking the Magic here. I just don't trust the Jazz defensively. I think this is a solid Magic team. I said before, I think this team's gonna contend for a playoff spot, and yeah, like I said, I'm just not there with the Jazz right now. So give me the Orlando Magic and the points.
I'm taking the Jazz here. I'm laying the points. It's a bad spot for the Magic. 4th straight road game. You know, they've struggled against these Western Conference opponents. The Jazz are hooping low-key. I think the Jazz get back to 500. I've liked them at home. We saw them take the Memphis Grizzlies behind the woodshed last night. They beat the Clippers at home. Jazz are solid. I would say currently, right now, today, I do like the Magic's progression and projection, and I think if it sets up better that the Magic are in the East, I think the Magic make the postseason. I think what hinders the Jazz is they're in the West. But as right now, today, the better team is the Jazz. Will that be the case later on in the season? I don't know. Taking the Jazz and laying the points here. I think the Magic actually going a little losing streak. I know they're on one, but when you go and look at their schedule, it gets tough. They got the Lakers next at home, and they got the Mavs. It get a little rough here for them. They're going to be fine in the grand scheme of things, but I'm going to fade them here for quite a little minute. I'm taking the Jazz tonight at home. I think they match up well. Markkanen, Kessler. The Magic a long team, but so are the Jazz, low key.
I'm taking the Jazz at home. I think if the Magic were getting more points, I would like them. But they're not getting enough for me. Taking the Jazz. Let's see what else we got. One more game. The rematch. Rematch. Jay, what do you think?
First game, I had the Spurs. I'm going the other way this time. I'm taking the Suns. I think they beat up on San Antonio in this spot. The Suns, if you watch the game, the Suns had dominated the game for most of that game. And then they kind of just took their foot off the gas. The Spurs creeped through the back door, pushed it open, and then was able to run through it. I don't think the Suns get off the gas today. I just don't see it happening. You know, great win from the Spurs the other day, but the Suns are head and shoulders the better team. I like them laying the points. I think they got embarrassed on national TV. I doubt they do it again. I see them coming out here giving it to the Spurs with or without Booker. I think they win by double digits. I'm gonna lay it with Phoenix.
I'm going to do as well. I think they beat them up. I think you lay extended in this one. They're going to be mad.
Yeah.
They're going to really want to win this one. No, I'll say all the square statements that there are, but because they all apply. These are the ones. This is the payback.
Revenge.
Yeah. Durant, can't believe he played so bad. Oh man, he had to hear all that too. You know he did. Oh, I don't listen to that stuff. No, we'll say it again so you can hear it. How's that sound?
For the people in the back.
Oh, you didn't hear it? Here, this is what they said. I love that. Those are my
Teeny
favorite.
did in Spanish, French.
Those are my favorite interviews. It's like, didn't you hear what they? What do you think about what they all said? Oh, I don't listen to that stuff. I don't know what they said. Oh, well, let me repeat it for you then. Yeah, I like the Suns in this one too. Chris, Wembanyama jersey.
Yeah. not today. I'm going to take the Suns as well here. Go back to that game. Obviously, the Spurs, the only lead of the game they had was the one that mattered at the end. But for the majority of that game, the Phoenix Suns were up by double digits. They were dominating the Spurs in that one before they just fell asleep and took their foot off the gas. And I don't think the Suns make that same mistake twice. I think they get revenge here. I think they win this one by double digits as well. So give me the Suns.
There's too much in agreement today. Makes it boring. So let's go back to the Titans Steelers game. I guess because none of the Celtics or anything are playing. Go to college football. TCU, Texas Tech.
Man, how the mighty have fallen. Was last year just a Cinderella run or what for TCU?
Well, they lost a lot of key players from that team too. So, I mean, yeah, it was a Cinderella run. I mean, it was. But they lost a lot of key players. College football is different than, a lot of other sports because the players leave early. It's like college basketball, you only have 5 guys on the court, But for college football, 22 guys out on the field, and it's like football is the one sport where regardless of if you have the ball or not, no matter what, more people are involved in every play in football than any other sport. You got to have all 11 guys need to do everything correctly on every single play in football. In basketball, not necessarily. Baseball, not necessarily. Hockey, not necessarily, right? But in football, you have to. So it's like, TCU didn't really have like amazing depth last year, wide receiver or anything, or quarterback. They had a magical run. Give them credit. Way better than most. They beat the shit out of Michigan in the playoff, but everybody forgets that.
They did do that.
Anyways, TCU, Texas Tech. I'm going to roll with Texas Tech in this thing. I just think at home, they're just a different team at home. They did lose to Oregon at home. Now we see probably not a lot of shame in that. On the road, they're not much. TCU got the big win at home. The first time their quarterback came in, they beat up on BYU. Not going to be so lucky this time. I'm taking the Red Raiders. I'm laying the wood. Chris?
I'm going to take the Red Raiders as well. I lean towards the over, but it's just TCU on the road, against teams that are not named Houston. Lost by 13 at Iowa State, got crushed 41-3 against Kansas State. Texas Tech, they've had some losses at home, but they lost to K-State as well. Almost beat Oregon, really good Oregon team. So I just trust Texas Tech on their home field more than I trust TCU on the road right now. So give me Texas Tech laying the points.
I'm a lean Texas Tech as well. I've really been trying to fade both these teams all year. They'll have their day, soon. Just not this year. But I do think Texas Tech is playing a little better football. And like both of these guys said, at home, they're a different monster. On the road, they're a straight fade. But at home, it's usually when they put fourth or best ever. Lubbock is a weird place. I'm telling you right now, it's a weird little city. I think the weird vibes in the city get to TCU in this one. I'm taking Texas Tech.
We move on.
Yes.
Duke versus Wake Forest.
And I'm parlaying up Texas Tech with my boys today, man. The Blue Devils, short, sweet, simple. I know, man. They ain't been the same, man. They ain't been quite the same. But Wake Forest is trash.
Well, they're not that good, Jay. I think that's the thing. Is that they're not a very good team.
My quarterback got banged up. You know what I mean?
It's my quarterback.
My quarterback.
It's my quarterback, man.
My quarterback got banged up.
It's like he's doing his Cowboys T.O. impersonation. It's my quarterback.
I think they're definitely the better team. They're at home. I don't trust Wake Forest at all. I think this Duke defense shuts them down. And the offense does enough here. I'm gonna lay it under 9. It's under 10. I think they win by 10 to 14. I'm taking Duke.
I'm on Duke as well. I just don't think Wake is very good this season. Dave Clawson's a great coach. This line's way down. Riley Leonard must not be playing.
I don't think he is. I hate that college football don't really have no injury report though.
College sports in general do not have injury reports.
They need to fix that.
Well, they're not meant for betting. Well, actually, I'm showing the line back up. I'm showing the line up, so maybe he is playing.
I don't know.
What are you showing, Chris? I show 12.5s.
Let me do one check.
I don't have my Dom Best in this room though, so I don't know.
I just saw 8.5, but let me do one check. Yeah, I'm seeing back up to 12.5 now.
That's what I'm seeing, so that means he's playing.
Is he worth 3 points to you, even banged up?
Well, 4 points now, I guess.
Yeah.
I guess so.
Me too. Let's go, Dukies.
I'm taking the under in this thing, even though Leonard, looks probably to be back. I mean, didn't look good last week against Louisville's defense, and I know Wake Forest not the same defense as the Cardinals, but Duke just hasn't looked good offensively the last couple weeks. 14 against Notre Dame. Okay, that's a tough matchup. 24 against NC State, 20 against Florida State, shutout by Louisville. Even if they put up 24 here, I don't see Wake Forest doing enough to get up and over this number, 42.5. I think 24-14, something like that. So give me the under.
Telling Gretchen that instead of having this black background on Duke and Wake Forest on the logos to go with white because we used the dark background on me. It's blending in.